Tonight at 5, Governor Evers wants voters to set abortion law in Wisconsin. We take a closer look at what that process could look like. Plus, why New York's Attorney General is suing former President Trump and his family, what the lawsuit says, and how the Trump team is responding. And interest rates are once again on the rise, the Federal Reserve's latest attempt to lower inflation. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Well, right now, today, when it comes to reproductive freedom, the will of the people isn't the law of the land. But it damn well should be, folks. It really should be.
Governor Evers wants to give you the power and the voice to set abortion law in Wisconsin. We heard many voices on both sides of this issue this summer, with loud protests carrying out in front of the Capitol and along State Street following the Supreme Court's ruling. In order to put the abortion issue before you in a voting booth, a lot would need to happen. Political reporter Will Keneally begins our coverage tonight live inside the state Capitol. Will?
So it's one of the governor's favorite anecdotes. In the conference room, which you can see behind us, there's a mural. On the mural is written that the will of the people is the law of the land. And the governor wants to do just that by making the process to put referenda on ballots statewide just that much easier.
If Republican legislators aren't going to uphold the will of the people, then the people of the state should have the right to take a stand at the ballot box.
That's why Governor Evers wants to make it easier for Wisconsinites to put constitutional amendments and laws on the ballot as referenda. He's calling the legislature back into session next month to try and make that happen. Why now? Because Evers says abortion is on the ballot.
And when it comes to reproductive freedom, the will of the people isn't the law of the land. But it damn well should be, folks.
Right now, the only statewide referenda are for constitutional amendments, but it's a long process. It first has to be passed by the legislature in 2 different sessions before going to the people for a vote. The change would allow anyone to propose an amendment or a new law. Just get enough signatures and it's on the ballot.
This would give, if you like, an escape valve for people who feel that somehow the democracy is no longer representing them. If they can get enough signatures, they can get on the ballot a particular proposal.
The change would affect any topic going forward, not just abortion. Evers says he got the idea from U.S. Senator Ron Johnson, who's pushed for Wisconsin voters to have a say on the issue.
I think the democratic process in Wisconsin will have something other than the 1849 law.
Last week, Johnson floated the idea of putting a referendum on the state's abortion ban before the people.
As of last week, this idea has new bipartisan support in Wisconsin. I agree with U.S. Senator Ron Johnson, and there's a sentence for you.
So to make it easier to put referenda on the ballot, the state would have to amend its constitution. As we mentioned before, that would mean that it would have to go through the legislature twice before it goes to the people, legislature being controlled by Republicans. So it may not look likely that this will actually get through the legislature. We heard from Republican leaders earlier today, and they called Evers' plan a political stunt. Reporting from the Capitol, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Will, thank you. Fall officially arrives tomorrow, but it will sure feel like fall the rest of this week. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canulty is on the weather patio. Gary?
Well, the clouds have certainly put a dent in temperatures today, along with the brisk northwesterly winds, and there's more of that ahead. As we take a look at visible cloud track, we've had clouds for much of the day, although there has also been some sunshine mixed in. A little more sunshine to our north, a little more cloud cover to our south and west, but all the rain so far has stayed to our south across southern Iowa and into western portions of Illinois. Notice the dew point temperatures. This time yesterday, they were in the upper 60s and lower 70s. Now they're in the mid to upper 40s to around 50 degrees. The air has noticeably dried out, and that will allow us to cool off much more at night. In fact, current temperatures are down to 67 in Madison, 70 in Janesville. That's the warm spot, but the rest of southern Wisconsin seeing temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. Right now, 67 in Deerfield, 68 degrees in Cross Plains, and 68 up to the north in Wanakee. Look for skies to become mostly clear this evening. Temperatures will fall pretty quickly to around 59 degrees by 10 p.m. It'll be even chillier by early tomorrow morning. I'll tell you how cold it'll get in just a few minutes.
Right, Gary, thank you. As progressive and inclusive as Madison likes to promote itself as being, a minority-based organization provided a wake-up call today. African Americans say they are routinely getting passed up for promotions and leadership positions. That group unpacked a ton of information on the topic this afternoon, and our McKenna Alexander joins us now to share some of the findings. McKenna?
Yeah, Susan, like you mentioned, a lot of information today. Over the past year, the African American Jewish Friendship Group of Madison ran a study looking at employment trends in our area. Researchers collected data from 178 employers and 75,000 employees across Dane County. The group found something jarring. The Madison area has serious work to do in workplace diversity and equality. Researchers behind the study say their findings back up a problem that's already known and felt in our area.
The issue of African American employment in Madison has best exemplified why Madison is a tale of two cities.
The report breaks down the rates of diversity and inclusion in several different sectors, including business, government bodies, education, and religious organizations. Coming up at 6, I'll break down much more of the survey's findings and what researchers say needs to happen in order to fix this problem.
We will see you at 6. McKenna, thank you. A truck driver was killed when a semi flipped over on an overpass and burst into flames outside of Dallas, Texas. And we want to warn you, some viewers may find this video disturbing. Video captured the frightening moments at an intersection in Allen, Texas. The 18-wheeler flies off the overpass, catches fire, and explodes as it hits the ground. Bystanders tried to save the driver, but the flames were too intense. He was pronounced dead at the scene.
I don't know, it felt like, it was surreal. It felt like something you see in a movie.
It was like slow motion, the truck coming down. You can't believe there's a truck coming down off the bridge, and then boom.
Police say the semi collided with a car that was in front of it. That driver was unharmed and is cooperating with investigators. It is unclear who was at fault. This was the scene at a BP oil refinery in Ohio last night. 2 employees were injured in the blaze and later died from their injuries. It is unclear what caused the fire, but a witness who took this video and lives nearby said he felt and heard an explosion around 7 last night. The plant will remain shut down through today. New York's Attorney General has filed a lawsuit against former President Donald Trump and 3 of his children, accusing them of fraud. The lawsuit says the Trump organization provided false financial statements to lenders and insurers in order to get better financial terms, such as lower interest rates and lower premiums. The Attorney General alleges Trump and his family violated several state criminal laws and plausibly broke federal criminal laws as well.
There is a parallel criminal investigation being conducted by the District Attorney of Manhattan, and we are cooperating with the Manhattan District Attorney, and any information that he is requesting, we will submit it to his office.
Lawyers for former President Trump called the lawsuit meritless and an unchecked abuse of authority. In a statement, Trump's attorney said today's filing is neither focused on the facts nor the law. Rather, it is solely focused on advancing the Attorney General's political agenda. A significant escalation in Russia's war against Ukraine. President Vladimir Putin announcing a partial mobilization of citizens, meaning that people in the military's reserve could be called up. Ivan Rodriguez breaks down Russia's increase in troops and how world leaders are responding.
After setbacks on the battlefield, Russian President Vladimir Putin is responding in a rare national address.
In order to protect our homeland, I think it is necessary to support the decision to partially mobilize citizens of Russian Federation.
The partial mobilization will call up 300,000 citizens in Russia's military reserve. This announcement comes after a successful Ukrainian offensive in the northeastern Kharkiv region. During a speech to the United Nations General Assembly just hours later, President Joe Biden pledged to stand with Ukraine in the face of military escalation.
This war is about extinguishing Ukraine's right to exist as a state. That should make your blood run cold.
The president also calling the Kremlin's move to annex separatist regions in Ukraine a sham and violation of the UN Charter.
Putin claims he had to act because Russia was threatened. But no one threatened Russia.
As more Russian troops are expected to enter the fight, Putin threatened the potential use of nuclear weapons, also raising concerns.
In order to protect our people, in order to protect Russia, we will definitely use all means.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Meanwhile, 2 American veterans who were held by Russian forces are now free. Alexander John Robert Druk and Andrew Tai Nak Wang, both volunteers from Alabama, were captured while fighting for Ukraine in June. Their release was part of a prisoner swap between Russia and Ukraine. A spokesman for the family says the men are safe at the U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia. The men are expected to return to the U.S. after medical checks and debriefings. Ex-Minneapolis police officer Thomas Lane has been sentenced to 3 years in prison for his role in the death of George Floyd. Lane held down Floyd's legs as former officer Derek Chauvin restrained him in 2020. He pleaded guilty to aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter earlier this year. 2 other former officers turned down that plea deal offer from state prosecutors, and they chose to move forward to trial, which is set to begin next month. More problems for NASA's Artemis 1 moon rocket. Engineers detected a liquid hydrogen leak during this morning's crucial fueling test. It appears similar to the leak that prevented the launch on September 3rd. NASA is testing 2 replacement seals and new procedures in the wake of that leak. The space agency wants to try to launch the rocket next week on an uncrewed 39-day mission. NASA hopes to send astronauts to the moon in 2024 and 25 and eventually deliver crewed missions to Mars. Well, Gary has our latest forecast coming up next at 5. Plus, we'll take a closer look at the Federal Reserve's latest attempt to lower inflation. Later, why Madison City employees could get a significant bonus early next year. We'll have the details on that tonight at 6. Here's a look at how stocks closed on this Wednesday. The Dow down 522 points. The NASDAQ was down 204, and the S&P 500 closed down 66. We'll be right back.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is coming this weekend only at the arena at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison. Rows and rows of spas, hot tubs, and swim spas. The largest display in the state. Save up to 60% on all in-stock models. This weekend only at the arena at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison.
Family-owned Brothers Maine knows choosing appliances for a remodel or new build can be exciting and overwhelming. Our experienced staff has experienced it all as we've guided thousands of area families through appliance selection. Brothers Maine has a larger inventory and low-price deals that consistently beat competitors, including Big Box. You heard me. Big Box can't beat our prices. From sales to install, Brothers Maine does it all. Feel great about your purchases and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
I received a call that my granddaughter had been hit. She suffered a serious brain injury and nearly died. The driver who hit Samantha should have been in jail. Mandela Barnes supports no cash bail that puts criminals like Darrell Brooks back on the streets. He's more worried about criminals than victims. Mandela Barnes doesn't have the judgment to keep our communities safe.
Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Hey, we're here at the local farmers market where Informed Choice Insurance Agency is offering fresh, hand-picked local Medicare. What do you mean when you say shop local for Medicare?
A lot of Medicare health plans have benefits that are specific to your county. So why would you call a national 1-800 number when your local Medicare plans have all the bells and whistles the national TV ads promise, only better?
Don't be fooled by national TV hype. When it comes to your Medicare options, keep it local with Informed Choice Insurance Agency, and their services are free.
Love that Chevy Blazer. That's our next SUV. Love that Equinox. That's our next SUV.
Nice trailblazer.
It was love at first sight. What?
The Chevy family of SUVs. Find new options. Find new roads.
Well-qualified buyers can get 1.9% financing or get $1,200 cash allowance on all 2022 Equinox models. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in Wisconsin.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is coming this weekend only at the arena at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison. Rows and rows of spas, hot tubs, and swim spas. The largest display in the state. Save up to 60% on all in-stock models. This weekend only at the arena at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison.
A $1,000 bonus will be given to Madison city employees. We're tracking where the funding is coming from. And a new survey highlights racial discrimination in the workforce. We question how Wisconsin will use that information at 6.
Restraint and seclusion are a last resort for managing student behavior, but some say schools are abusing the protocols.
They have all the power. That's not about safety.
Chris Stanford learns why one local family fought back Thursday on News 3 Now at 6. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back. The Federal Reserve is making another major move to slow inflation, but it comes at a cost. Naomi Ruckham explains.
The Federal Reserve is taking another shot in the fight against inflation.
High inflation imposes significant hardship as it erodes purchasing power, especially for those least able to meet the higher costs of essentials.
Wednesday, Chairman Jerome Powell and the Fed board raised a key rate 0.75 percentage point. The 5th rate hike this year comes as prices for essentials continue to rise. Electricity bills are up almost 16% compared to a year ago. Housing is 6% higher, and prices at the grocery store continue to soar, frustrating many shoppers. And what do you think of prices right now?
I think they are ridiculous. They're outrageous.
The Fed's latest move is designed to slow down the economy and ease rising prices, but it's also pushing up loan costs. A new survey from Bankrate found the average credit card interest rate is more than 18%, an all-time high. And even though the Fed doesn't directly set fixed mortgage rates, they continue to soar. A 30-year mortgage rate is just over 6%, more than double 1 year ago.
Fed officials see inflation fighting as job one.
CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says the Fed's aggressive action has some economists worried about a recession.
If policy starts to work, the economy will slow down by enough, hopefully by not too much, to create a recession.
The Federal Reserve is expected to raise rates 2 more times this year. The next hike could come in November. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
Now to the weather. It is the last day of summer. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Things are cooling off.
Yeah, a big change compared to yesterday. And on Doppler track, some light showers in the northern part of the Midwest, and the second cold front dropping southeastward, and also some showers down to the south. That's where the bigger temperature contrast is. And take a look at the difference in temperatures. Right now, 67 in Madison, 94 in St. Louis. That's the heat that we had yesterday. Pushed down to the south. Temperatures are already in the 50s up in northern Minnesota and northern Wisconsin. Compared to 24 hours ago, we're seeing about a 14-degree temperature drop here, but across much of Iowa and into parts of Nebraska and Kansas, about a 35 to 40-degree temperature drop. So fall definitely on the way. Cool weather, and 3 things to know. High temperatures around 60 for both tomorrow and Friday. We'll see some showers Friday afternoon and Friday night, maybe a couple lingering into Saturday morning, and then dry weather from Monday through Friday of next week. Can't rule out an isolated shower Sunday afternoon, but most of the weekend will be dry. Powerful Hurricane Fiona, now a Category 4 hurricane. Maximum sustained winds 130 miles an hour, gusts to 160 miles per hour. Moving to the north, the forecast from the National Hurricane Center brings it just to the northwest of Bermuda as a powerful Category 4 hurricane, and then brings it into the Canadian Maritimes, not even as a hurricane, as a very powerful low-pressure system that merges with another weather system. Winds of about 105 miles per hour near Prince Edward Island and eastern Nova Scotia, and then the storm lifts northward and weakens, but the precipitation starts changing over to snow snow on the western side of the storm as the storm gets into colder air. And the tropics are really active. There's Fiona. You can see a couple of weather systems down to the south that bear some watching, and also Tropical Storm Gaston in the central portion of the Atlantic Ocean. Planning your night tonight, low temperatures, mid-40s in Madison, 50 in Monona, 49 degrees in Oregon. Across the rest of southern Wisconsin, 48 in Platteville, 45 in Baraboo. Overnight into tomorrow morning, look for a high of 60 for tomorrow with partly sunny skies. It'll be breezy and cooler. We'll go past future track here, but could see some light rain showers, maybe a 1/10 to a 1/4 of an inch of rain through Friday night, and then temperatures on the cool side for much of next week, a warm-up toward the end of next weekend. As we check out first warn traffic right now, Beltline looking pretty good. Here's the view at Fish Hatchery Road and Park Street and the Beltline. Right now, we're seeing traffic moving pretty steadily in both directions. No problems on the Beltline, I-39, 90, 94 on the east side of Madison. Right now, a 15-minute trip either way on the Beltline between University Avenue and the interstate. 24 minutes on I-39, 90 southward from the Beltline to Janesville. 17 minutes on US 12 from Middleton to Sauk City, and downtown to Sun Prairie will take you 19 minutes on East Washington Avenue and US 151. That's your News 3 Now first warn traffic.
All right, thank you, Gary. It was an exciting day in Oregon as the community moves one step closer to having its very own Culvers. A groundbreaking ceremony was held today to celebrate the beginning of construction for the new Culvers. Village leaders and Culvers founder Craig Culver took part in this ceremony. Culver called Oregon a good match for the company and praised village officials for their cooperation in helping the restaurant come to fruition.
History is so important, where you came from, and it tells you something about where you're going. Well, you know where we're going? Oregon, Wisconsin, baby.
Founded in Sauk City in 1984, Culver's has grown to more than 875 restaurants spanning 26 states. The Oregon restaurant is set to open in March. Coming up, a new study shows that kids are moving away from alcohol and tobacco use, but towards something else. We'll have details when we return.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Some ideas seem good, but aren't.
Maybe these guys will buy our house.
What could go wrong?
Like rookie home buyers who can lower or cancel offers without notice. We Buy Ugly Houses won't reduce or cancel our firm cash offers before closing. Call or click to sell quick.
I'm the dog who can destroy a squeaky in seconds. And I'm here to tell you about the pet insurance from Physicians Mutual that can pay up to 100% of your vet bills. I love to hear them squeak in fear right up until the end. But one time those squeakers sat a bit funny, got stuck in my tummy. It's all good though. I got pet insurance offered by Physicians Mutual. They really get me. They understand my squeaky passion. And Mom and Papa don't get stuck with a high vet bill. Tell your parents about
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
Remember this? Forecasts are predicting an unreasonably cold and snowy winter. Now's the time to winterproof your home with USA Insulation. 35% more efficient than traditional insulation. Our foam in your walls keeps the cold air out and your warm air in. It's like putting a coat around your entire home. Call now before winter and get a $500 early bird discount.
USA Insulation.
You heard the jingle man, Wisconsin. That means it's time to get a versatile, rugged, athletic SUV that makes you feel like you just won a title. Again. Honda was just crowned KBV.com's best value brand for the 7th year in a row. So get up and go to your Wisconsin Heartland Honda dealer today. Honda gets Wisconsin. Bring it home, Songbird.
Get up and go!
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each butter burger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Yeah.
There's no other place where my story is possible.
My mom was a teacher. My dad worked third shift. It was our ticket to the middle class. That's the promise of America I'll fight to protect. While others send our jobs overseas, I'll bring manufacturing back, invest in our own workers, and stock our shelves with American products. And with a middle class tax cut, you'll be able to keep more of what you earn. I know the promise of America, and no one will fight harder to protect it. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Some ideas seem good, but aren't.
Maybe she could sell her house.
What could go wrong?
Like listing your house, then dealing with all the trouble, expense, not to mention closing costs. We Buy Ugly Houses can buy your house fast for all cash as is with no hassle. Call or click to sell quick.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
New research shows substance abuse among adolescents is declining in the U.S., but experts are now concerned about vaping and cannabis use in that age group. Researchers at Columbia University say kids are stepping away from drinking and smoking, but there has been an uptick in vaping. They say substance use was higher in highly social teens and those who gathered in groups with less supervision. It's estimated about 2 million middle and high school students use e-cigarettes.
If we want to make vaping unattractive, uncool to the youth right now, it's kind of like we have to play fire with fire, right? They're not going to find them unattractive because of a doctor telling them. The way they're going to find them unattractive is by their own peers messaging.
Research also shows adolescents who use e-cigarettes are 4 times more likely to try traditional cigarettes. Drinking tea may have more benefits than just a little energy boost. Researchers in Europe say drinking 4 cups of black, green, or oolong tea a day can reduce your risk of developing diabetes. The teas have been linked with a 17% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes over 10 years. A substance found in many plants has antioxidant properties which can prevent or delay cell damage in the body. Might be a good night for a warm cup of tea. We'll get a final check of your first warn forecast when we come back.
Vitense Golfland offers 2 golf and multi-sport simulator suites. Play great golf courses with unmatched viewing clarity. Play different sports such as football and soccer. Have fun with Zombie Ball. Vitense Golfland provides simulator fun for everyone.
Welcome. We're so glad you're here. Looking for one of our most capable Ford SUVs? Okay, great. We've got you covered. Spacious interiors, innovative tech, good looks, and a legendary off-road experience. Check out our inventory today, or let us help you place a custom order. Getting into the perfect Ford SUV? Well, it's easier than ever. Yeah, we've got you covered. Now choose FlexBuy on a 2022 Ford Escape, Edge, or Explorer and get 0% financing for 66 months.
It's easier to manage my chemo side effects since a great supportive care came to see me. They're taking the time to listen and talk about options for feeling better.
A Grace, caring every step of the way.
Expand your outdoor living space with our huge selection of landscape blocks from Menards. Get a free estimate instantly with our Design and Buy landscaping program. From patios, retaining walls, fire pits, and more, you can design the landscape of your dreams for free. Visit the store or Menards.com to get started on your next project today. Right now, save 11% on everything. Only at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
It's our biggest sale of the year. Get back to your health and fitness goals by joining Anytime Fitness for just $1 now through October 7th. Let us help you turn no I can't into yes I can. Now through October 7th, join Anytime Fitness for just $1. Hurry in today.
Wisconsin is a home of workers. We know what needs to get done, and we do it. Yet, we've been hit hard, some harder than others. Our contact may be limited, but we still can lift each other up. The Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy providers are working together to help keep your heat and power on. You may not ask for it, but we want you to know we're here.
Hypnotize your way to savings.
Breathing techniques to help you save.
Looking to make saving a habit?
Yeah, what's the secret?
No secret. Just open a savings account at BMO and we'll give you a cash reward for every month you save.
A cash reward? Just for saving?
Mm-hmm. And when you open a checking account, we'll give you a $300 bonus to get your new savings habit started.
Love that.
What's your book? How to get a $300 bonus and a monthly cash reward for saving with BMO.
He literally wrote the book on saving.
That's me on the cover.
When a bank helps you make real financial progress, that's the BMO effect.
Vitense Golfland offers 2 golf and multi-sport simulator suites. Play great golf courses with unmatched viewing clarity. Play different sports such as football and soccer. Have fun with Zombie Ball. Vitense Golfland provides simulator fun for everyone.
NASA is sharing a stunning view of Neptune and its rings taken by the James Webb Telescope. It's the first image of Neptune, and it's the clearest view of the planet in more than 30 years after Voyager 2 flew by. As for that bright light in the upper middle part of the image, that's not a star. NASA says it's Neptune's large and unusual moon, Triton, which reflects an average of 70% of the sunlight hitting it.
Very cool.
Very cool. I can watch pictures like that all day long.
Well, let's take a look at the live view from the WISC Skycam. Kind of hard to see through the clouds. And the Platteville-Quimby Radio Skycam starting to see a little peak of sun on the western horizon. Sky should actually clear out pretty quickly after sunset, but right now rain to our south. A couple of light showers to our north. Right now it looks like we'll stay dry. Temperatures 60s for the most part.
All right, Gary, thank you. The CBS Evening News is coming up next. Hope to see you back here at 6.